Here we are again.
In the woods. And at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin,
what happens if we hit the skip button? Okay, that just takes us to the next dialogue box. We just gonna go to the cabin again?
I mean, I don't see if there's much of a point in defying.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within.
It's interesting, he doesn't warn us about her duplicity until the second round. Every time we come there on the second day, it's like a word of warning, she'll lie and cheat and so on.
The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement.
So my instinct, if we know this is the last one, is to try to get a princess that isn't, like, horrible and hates us. On the other hand, I'm also thinking, like, maybe that's the way to the bad ending, where you create, like, your ideal waifu and she has no agency.
But I mean, she's an amalgamation of all the princesses we've built so far, right?
Yeah.
Like, each of them is an aspect.
I think it's pretty clear at this point that, like, there are more possible princesses than you can do in one playthrough, and the princesses that you do bring her will have an influence on how the end of the game, whatever the hell the end of the game is, plays out.
Do we want to vote?
I go with whatever Chris said.
My instinct is to take the knife because we haven't done that enough.
Alright.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world.
But I'm going to play this one a little bit more close to the vest.
The door to the basement.
You want a diversified princess portfolio.
Faintly illuminated.
It needs to contain multitudes of the human experience.
This is an oppressive place.
You need monster,
the air feels
murderer,
damp,
murder victim,
rot
you know, all the kinds of person there are.
If the princess really lives here,
person who waited until the end of time.
Doing her a favor. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous.
Someone who misses you like the deserts miss the rain.
Down here. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
You know, I live in a desert, and if it rains too much here, it floods. So I don't know if the desert misses the rain all that much.
You know how it is. You miss somebody, but, you know, a little goes a long way.
Just continue down the stairs.
I do kind of really want to see what happens when we just yell, "Hi!"
All right, go hi. Hi. Say hi.
Don't
what up,
be
kid?
A stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world? Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
What? No way. Why would you even think that?
Okay.
That giant knife you're holding kind of gives it away, doesn't it?
Oh,
We're not even holding it behind our back.
Of course she doesn't want to talk. Who'd want to have a conversation at knife point? We should drop it. Don't you dare.
No, we're not dropping it. We did that last
fine.
time.
We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. But killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
Tighten your grip.
So tighten your grip.
You ignore the trembling in your hands and tighten your grip on the blade.
You poor thing. Your hands are shaking. Are you scared of me? Because you should be.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
Are you sure she's not armed?
I'm positive. I'm not. But we'll keep our eyes peeled. If she has a weapon, she'll have to draw it before she can use it.
She's gonna kind of. I mean, if she's gonna escape, she's going to disarm herself.
Hesitating? Why don't you drop the knife and the two of us can be civilized with each other?
I'm not dropping the blade.
Then I'm not talking to you.
Fine, then I guess we're at an impasse.
I guess we are.
For the love of everything, just slay her already. Or drop the blade. Do something.
Oh
I like
my
the idea
god.
that of the infinite probability space, the thing we keep it going back to is tedious conversations.
Stare at the princess while holding the blade.
You stare at the princess, squinting fiercely. She squints back. The two of you are gonna do this forever, aren't you?
The
You'll
hero's
have
like,
to
come on.
Eventually, just make a choice.
All right, Chris,
Slay
what
the
do you wanna do?
princess.
You charge the princess, blade in hand, but unfortunately your earlier suspicions proved correct.
Oh, she
blade
does
of her
have a
own
blade.
slips down her sleeve and catches you in the neck. Blood sprays from the
Is there
cut.
like
That's not the-
is
that's the same
there a
knife.
fork
The
where
princess with
the
strokes
princess
of red.
does just get murked?
Better finish your task quickly.
Like is
before
that
you run.
something that happens?
I imagine there's gotta be one where you can successfully actually kill the princess and she stays dead. I don't know.
I die. We die. We died. We fucked up.
we
real
give
bad.
up. Fuck it, man. This sucks. I should have worked at Wendy's.
Are you
We got
serious?
tricked.
The wound in your neck is too much for you to bear, and you collapse to the floor of the basement.
I like how Rutskarn's playstyle was trying to annoy the narrator by doing nothing, and somehow I'm bumbling into the do nothing and piss off the narrator stories. Literally both of mine involved, like,
Everything
waiting.
goes dark, and you die.
The razor.
Razor.
You're on a path in the woods.
Was
and
that
at the
the
end
It really
of the
speaks to
path
my,
is a
uh,
cabin. And in the basement of that
What
cabin
about Patron Week?
is a princess.
I feel we definitely did like the fighting route first when we initially did this on Patron Week. I'm trying to remember if that one was the Razor or if the Razor is a slightly different princess.
You're here to slay her. If you don't,
I mean, we got, like, in a fight, and it was a brutal knockout, drag down fight.
I want to click one of these just so we see what voice that we have now. I don't think we've done okay, no, so...
oh, don't you start grandstanding about morals. The fate of the world is at risk right now, and the life of a mere princess shouldn't stop you from saving us all. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
This whole thing's a crock of
Oh, it's
shit.
the cheated
She's
again.
trying to pull a knife out of nowhere and stab us again.
Stabbed to death? Well, you won't have to worry about that. The princess is unarmed.
Yeah, that's exactly what you told us last time. When we asked you if you were sure she didn't have a weapon on her, you said you were positive she didn't. But it turns out she did, because when we charged her, she started stabbing us. To death.
Calm down. I assure you she has no weapons. So there's no reason to fear her. You were made for this job. You'll do just fine.
Is that like a reassuring, oh, you'll be really good at it, or literally you were made for this job?
I like to think that you know, we have no agency
Those are
whatsoever.
two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you. Let's say for a moment that this really is.
Okay,
if you're
we've
back
done this
here,
before.
We did it. Sounds to me like you probably had some kind of elaborate nightmare. In which case, I shouldn't be held accountable for what supposedly happened. But congratulations, you've been given a chance to actually do this right. And I believe your other question was something along the lines of,
Okay, we've seen that
if it's
before.
not anything script, at least just glance this.
Alright. Proceed to the cabin.
Yeah.
A warning. before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will.
Yeah,
do
she'll
everything
manifest
in her
knives out
power
of
to
nowhere.
Stop you from slaying her. Don't believe
Okay, this is a really hard boss.
couldn't be
Most
more
parties
on
wipe
the
at this
money.
point, so
We're
just
really
stay
doing this,
frosty,
aren't we?
watch those docks,
Say you're lost, but I'm
don't pull
stuck here with
aggro.
you.
We know what to look out for this time. We know to be careful. Just stay focused and you'll
I
be
think
fine.
everyone who was into MMOs, particularly when I played them, just got an excruciatingly accurate portrait of exactly
The
how
interior
much
of
I
the
know
cabin is a
about
jagged
playing
mess of
MMOs
warped wood
properly.
and broken boards. There's splintered
Have we seen
edges
this house
as
before? I dig
uninviting
it.
as shattered glass.
I don't. I
no,
don't
that's
think we
one.
have.
I would
There's
recognize
a
it.
pointed table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
So are we taking the blade, or
Yeah, I think we should take the blade.
have we ever
It
done this?
yes, the first time we saw it was
Did
a
we?
different cabin.
Oh, okay.
We can do it again if you want.
Let's see.
Very different. Maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll finally
okay, we've
so
definitely done
focus
this.
up.
All right. Take the blade or not? I
I
think it
vote
would be
yes.
very funny going into this having triggered a violent princess and then just go in unarmed. But we've done a lot of unarmed, so
I vote take the blade.
You take the blade from the table. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
It feels a bit better to have a weapon in our hands. Let's make her.
I mean, she did knife us last time.
Us.
I assume we're gonna ignore the mirror again.
Yeah, I mean, we know what happens.
Yeah.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing what must once have been stairs. The fractured slats look as if they've been torn from their source and violently jammed into the wall. The air seeping up from below has an almost metallic quality to it, like the smell of fresh blood. And you can hear what sounds like the rhythmic scraping of metal coming from down below. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor.
That's right, scraping. I told you she has something. I told you.
That sound could be anything. It's probably
Get
just
down there, she's got like an entire armory of swords and shit.
begging you to get out of your head. Her grating voice carries up the stairs.
I hope you've come to rescue me.
Oh god, is she a
I've been
cyborg?
stuck down here forever.
Oh no, she's a Terminator!
There is something so wrong with that voice.
Yeah, she thinks she's better than us. Like she doesn't even have to put on an act this time.
As you descend the final
Oh,
step,
this is definitely
the form of the
new.
princess comes into view, her sharp eyes following you from across the room.
The wall is gone.
I wonder if she remembers us.
Finally, somebody. Quick, get me out of these chains. We're not safe here.
Come on now, we're not falling for that, are we? She's trying to trick us, but she can't hide that threatening edge to her voice. She just wants us to get close, to let our guard down.
If she sounds threatening, it's because her mask is already slipping. She knows why you're here. You are armed, after all.
What are you waiting for? You are here to rescue me, right?
Sounds like they did some kind of distortion on the voice this time.
Yeah, I love it. I know you have a knife. I'll let you out of here if you drop it.
I don't think that's gonna get us anywhere, but let's see what
A
happens.
knife? What are you talking about? I don't have a knife. Where would I keep a knife? And why would I stab you to death? I don't know you. You
Is she
haven't given
anime
me a
sweating
reason
right
to
now?
Stab you to death. It would be so silly of me to cut you open and look at your insides.
Okay, I
Is the
could've
world ready
sworn
for just like
we
a
didn't mention
pure,
stabbing anyone to
like, anime comedy
Sounds like
princess?
she's really out for blood. Fortunately for you, she isn't armed.
I don't have the key.
Oh, you don't. Okay, I see. I have an idea.
Oh my god.
You should come over here and stare directly at the chains. You won't be able to find a key if you don't know what it's supposed to look like, so you better come right within close staring distance just to be sure.
I have absolutely zero doubts that she is going to stab us if we get close to her.
She certainly feels threatening. Just because she's acting like she's going to stab you doesn't mean she has the means to actually do it. But you know who is armed? You. So stop second-guessing yourself and do your job. But I'm nervous. All the more reason to jump into the deep end and deal with her right now before you waste any more time getting stuck in your head.
Oh, prove it. Prove you don't have a knife.
It would be so much easier to prove that I do have a sharp object. I could just show it to you, but I don't have one, so I can't.
The princess smiles as she pulls her hands from behind her back.
But look at this! Hands! Hands that don't have anything in them to stab you with!
Her smile stretches into an even wider grin as she shakes her sleeves.
Do those even count as sleeves?
And empty sleeves, too! Look at how few stabbing implements I have. It's practically zero.
I like practically zero. I'd like to trust you, but you're being so suspicious right now.
That's so rude of you, passing judgments on strangers you've never met just because they're different from you. How would you like it if I did that, huh? Silly little bird face thinks he's so serious coming
got a
down
bird
here, but
face.
doesn't know anything. Thinks he can tell me to get rid of all the knives I don't even have while he gets to wave one around right in front of me.
What if we are actually just a dinosaur?
I bet you didn't like that, did you?
I mean, we are being a little hypocritical.
For no reason.
How many more times does she have to vaguely threaten you before you finally decide you're ready to deal with her?
Okay, do we want to just go up and look at the chains? Because that's kind of what I want to
We
do.
don't have the luxury of watching this from a distance. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you think I'm in a position of luxury right now? You're acting like you are. My entire world is at risk. Then maybe you should behave with a little more humility. A bit of self-deprecation would go a long way. No. I have my dignity. Fine. And will continue to treat you exactly how you deserve to be treated.
Excuse me, lady, we're having another argument in my head. Hang on.
So can we walk up and look at the chains, or can we be that dumb?
There's so many options here. Yes, we can.
I vote that way unless anybody has strong opinions otherwise.
Do you feel like we should explore a little more here and
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Let's just ask her straight up if she remembers.
Last time, if someone came into my house and tried to kill me and I cut his neck open, surely I would remember that. But I don't remember it, so it must not have happened.
There you go again, talking up delusions about a past life experience that clearly didn't happen. Ugh, it's like the two of you are working together on this. Aren't you listening to her? She's obviously lying through her teeth. I'm terrible at spotting lies, and even I can tell something's up here. We can't be the only ones that looped back to the start. Someone else has to remember, right? Yes, something is obviously up, and we can all tell that she's lying. The thing she's lying about is how dangerous she is, not dimension hopping or time travel or whatever it is you think you're doing.
Look, I know you're mad at me, but I think we should just let bygones be bygones.
Yeah.
But I'm not mad at you, so please stop standing so far out of reach.
I think I've said my piece at this point. I think we all have. But if you want to keep exhausting your questions, it beats getting stabbed to death.
Even the game is telling us to get a move on. All right, do we want to just do it, or do we want to keep doing this stuff?
I
Try
say
to
just
talk
do
her
it.
out of it.
We're never going to be able to talk her out of it.
All right, let's approach the princess. That is what we want to do, right?
Yeah.
Of course I won't.
Against your better judgment, you walk across the room to within arm's reach of the princess. I don't like the way you said within arm's reach. You hear the horrible sound of metal slicing through meat. Whose meat? Not ours, right? Hers, at first, then yours. Your neck, specifically.
Wait a minute.
Again? Really?
Did she grab our knife? No, okay, she just has a fucking machete.
You collapse to the ground, your vision
She is a
screams as you
cyborg.
attempt to focus on her bloody
Oh my
blade
God!
and the limp sack of flesh that was once her arm.
You're
This
going
is
to
fair.
die now.
Yeah, fair enough.
And with a quick jerk of her elbow,
Yeah.
she does just that. Everything goes dark, and you
You know,
die.
you can't argue about that.
The arms,
The arms raise.
You're on a path in the woods. You're what? The interior of the cabin is sharp, a constricting mess of curved and battered sheet metal pushing you towards... Wait, excuse me? What just happened? I feel dizzy.